think some of the key trends that we're seeing is more of a regulatory standards and approach in legislation for pharmacist providers to push a a greater impact on patient care models.
So, from a legislative perspective, pharmacy still got a lot of work to do to keep up with the growing trends in healthcare and making sure that we stay relevant not only as a profession but also as a department from an inpatient side, outpatient side, whatever scope of practice that you're considering to cover. So there's a lot of challenges there, but with great expectations comes great outputs and great leadership opportunities, and so we're looking forward to confronting those challenges going forward in the future.
So we all know that in the past few years we've seen major legislative changes with the Affordable Care Act, and right now we're in a state where we don't know where that's headed. We see major advancements in technologies and distributors, even like Amazon, getting more involved in the market. So they've revolutionized daily mail. So I think it'd be short-sighted to think that that would not have a major impact in the future on hospital pharmacy.
Technology is continuing to improve, and there's a lot of opportunity there. The challenge is with decreased reimbursement from our federal subsidies. That how do we afford that technology that's available out there, and how do we obtain it to improve the care of our patients? With the ACA and whatever might happen with that, there's always a question of who the payer is going to be for all of these.
Certainly what I would call a corporatization of healthcare delivery is an important dynamic that we have to pay close attention to. The legislative interface, the interface of changes in reimbursement mechanisms, how that impacts providers, how that impacts the infusion of technology, I think are all very, very important aspects of what's going on in the marketplace and things that we have to be closely attentive to moving forward.
I think robotics are a big part of pharmacy, and also using more automation instead of manual skills.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of automation. There's actually really awesome automation out there. I think there's a lot of potential. A lot of it is at the infancy of it. I think we will see a lot of growth of different automation, from pharmacy software to RFIDs and things of that sort that we'll see. That will play a huge role in the future of pharmacy.
Automation is a big deal right now. We spend a lot of time talking about how can we make this better? How can it be faster? How can it be safer? How can we get to tomorrow with what we have today? Is there anything we can retrofit? Are there new data and analytics that can help us answer the questions we have today and tomorrow?
Well, I think number one is that we need to work more closely with our hospital administrators, and in particular organizations like the American Hospital Association, where they do a lot of advocacy work. I feel as a profession we need to work more jointly with different individuals. We need to continue to educate hospital executives in the C-suite on how we do business, the value that we bring to the table. I'm not sure we've always done a good job of bringing the value. Sitting down with chief financial officers and understanding, look, it's not just your drug budget is over, but where is it over, and what are the profitable service lines that we offer at the hospital.
Competition is big right now. From a healthcare perspective on the inpatient side, you're struggling to compete with your neighbors. Just because we have competition, that also makes it healthy, and it also gives us an opportunity to be in a constant state of change, constant state of improvement, looking at ways to increase our value-based services and working on those types of things. So
one of the biggest trends that I've seen recently and over the past couple of years is where pharmacy is beginning to actually collaborate with people outside of our current profession, and using that knowledge to come up with better solutions, to come up with better processes that we are adding the value and improving patient care from a day-to-day standpoint.
A current trend throughout the nation in hospital pharmacy and even beyond that into the executives is the integrated practice models that you're seeing. You're seeing hospital systems growing and becoming these integrated networks, and you're also seeing regionalization models where you have CEOs or chief pharmacy officers and directors not only overseeing a single site but actually multi-sites. And the integrated pharmacy network is going to be a growing piece within healthcare, and we'll certainly see those continuing in the future.
So I would say consolidation and vertical integration are very popular right now. As a informatics leader, at times that's concerning to me. I think that we create standards that drive better patient care by working with different vendors, and that's how standards are created. I think that the more opportunities that we have to interface our systems, the better we'll be able to evolve our care system.
Well, there's definitely a shift to ambulatory care, right? So we're seeing more and more pharmacists being embedded into ambulatory care practices, physician-based clinics. I think that's really the movement for pharmacists. It's, like I said, it's not going to be hospital anymore.
You know, the payer landscape, the disruptive innovation we are hearing on the news this week with respect to the vertical integration with Aetna and CVS. Nobody would have expected that to happen. They're going to become a behemoth in the marketplace. We know Amazon's trying to play in that space. And at the end of the day, what we do is all boils down to the business of healthcare. So I think from my perspective, I've always felt that there are two roles for pharmacy, or two goals. One is the safety of the medication use process. Safe medications is really predominantly what we're about. That's why we go to school, get a PharmD. These days, kids are getting postgraduate residencies 1 and 2 years. But the other really important role is the responsible stewardship of medications and making sure that we manage utilization, we evaluate new drugs from an evidence-based perspective. And so I think if I look at the future, this role of what I would call effective drug stewardship is going to continue to be important, especially as the payer landscape changes. Because if we want to take care of a population, we need to manage the safe and effective and cost-effective use of those drugs.
Just such dramatic changes that even for us in education and training find it very difficult to keep pace for purposes of helping our students and residents know what to anticipate as change occurs, because things are just happening so very, very quickly.